Vox populi, vox Deo. From the Latin, it is translated, the voice of the people is the voice of God. And if that phrase is indeed correct, then God has spoken. Yesterday, on December the 9th, Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, placed a poll on his platform asking a simple but potentially impactful question. And now, having cast almost 2 million votes, the people have spoken. By a vote of 70 to 30, Alex Jones has his Twitter account reinstated after an over 5-year ban on the platform. On the political right, everybody's throwing a party. On the political left, there is wailing and gnashing of teeth. How did we get here? Hang on, folks. We're going to get into all this in just 1 second.
My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk.
If you say the name Alex Jones, you will get all kinds of differing reactions, but generally they fall into one of two camps. One camp says that he's a hero and a legend, and somebody who's bringing information to the people that they otherwise don't get from the so called mainstream media. The other camp generally falls into conspiracy theorist. He shouldn't be allowed on any social media platform anywhere. He's a purveyor of misinformation. He's awful, and he's everything that's wrong with political discourse in America today. So, needless to say, when you mention the guy's name, he invokes all kinds of strong feeling. But for the past 5 years, Alex Jones has been banned from every major social media platform in America. So, how is it that the most censored man on the internet, as he's come to be called, found his way back to having his account restored on Twitter? Well, to get there, you have to go back to the origins of how all this started, and that is exactly what we're going to do. I take you to the pages of the New York Times going back to August of 2018, and that's where our story begins. Headline: Alex Jones and InfoWars content is removed from Apple, Facebook, and YouTube. In an article written by Jack Nickus, we read the following. Top technology companies erased most of the posts and videos on their services from Alex Jones, the internet's notorious conspiracy theorist, thrusting themselves into a fraught debate over their role in regulating what can be said online. Apple, Google, Facebook, and Spotify severely restricted the reach of Mr. Jones, and InfoWars, his right-wing site that has been a leading peddler of false information online. See what I mean by reaction? Mr. Jones and InfoWars have used social media for years to spread dark and bizarre theories, such as that the Sandy Hook school shooting was a hoax and that Democrats run a global child sex ring. Apple made its move on Sunday, and the others followed on Monday. The actions, one of the tech company's most aggressive efforts against misinformation, highlighted a difficult dilemma for their businesses. They have long desired to combat misinformation online, but they have also been reluctant to be the arbiters of truth. But since a rise of misinformation online around elections, such as the 2016 presidential vote, the tech companies have faced increasing calls from lawmakers and the news media to address their role in that spread of false information and a related increase in partisan divisions. The tech companies have recently stepped up enforcement, but that has led to accusations of political bias, largely from conservatives. Okay, let's back up and give this a little bit of context. If you don't know anything about Alex Jones, I'll do my best to summarize the man's career, although I know I will not do him justice, but I try, for the sake of context for my viewers, to give you some idea who this guy is if you don't know anything about Alex Jones. Alex Jones has been involved in media going all the way back into the 1990s, even before he was on the internet. Since then, he has been at his website, Infowars.com, basically free to say whatever he wants. But in recent years, he has been a target, and I mean a very big target, of the political left. Well, about 5+ years ago, they finally got their opportunity to put the torpedo into the broadside of his boat when comments that he made related to the Sandy Hook shooting were interpreted to mean one thing that Alex Jones said they were never meant to say. Now, I'm not going to get into a back and forth about what was said about Sandy Hook and how it was interpreted by the mainstream media. But those comments were used as the pretext to remove Alex Jones from Apple, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. But interestingly enough, Twitter did not immediately follow suit. That didn't happen until about a month later. Now, there's a certain amount of back and forth that went on inside Twitter. Should we remove Alex Jones? Should we not remove Alex Jones? I don't know. Well, rightly or wrongly, there was one more thing that happened that sort of sealed Alex's fate with Jack Dorsey, who was at the time the CEO of Twitter. I take you to a video that was shot in September of 2018 in the halls of Congress. I'm not going to play the audio on this, but I'm going to basically give you the background on what happened. This is an exchange that happened between Alex Jones and a reporter for CNN, Oliver Darcy. Darcy is the fellow with the beard and the glasses. Alex Jones is right there. Basically, what happens is Alex Jones walks up to him, doesn't yell, doesn't scream, doesn't anything else, and for the next few minutes starts to berate Darcy as being himself a purveyor of misinformation. Well, needless to say, what happened next was predictable. If Twitter was looking for a reason to get rid of Alex Jones off their platform, unfortunately, that incident gave them the impetus to do it. We go back to the New York Times and we read the following. Twitter bans Alex Jones and InfoWars citing harassing messages. Article written by Kate Conger and, again, Jack Neckes. Apple, Facebook, and Google's YouTube mostly barred Alex Jones, the right-wing provocateur and creator of the conspiracy theorist website InfoWars, last month for propagating hate speech. Twitter did not. On Thursday, though, Twitter said it would permanently suspend Mr. Jones' account as well as the account for InfoWars. The social media company said Mr. Jones had posted messages within the previous 24 hours that violated its policies, which prohibit direct threats of violence and some forms of hate speech but allow deception or misinformation. Today, we permanently suspended at Real Alex Jones and at InfoWars from Twitter and Periscope, the company posted to its safety account. We took this action based on new reports of tweets and videos posted yesterday that violate our abusive behavior policy, in addition to the account's past violations. Twitter announced its decision after weeks of will they, won't they scrutiny on whether it would remove Mr. Jones and InfoWars from its service. When Facebook, Apple, YouTube, and others took down Mr. Jones' content in early August, Twitter's chief executive Jack Dorsey said Mr. Jones' post had not violated the company's policies. That prompted criticism, since Mr. Jones has regularly spread lies, including that the Sandy Hook school shooting was a hoax. And so, the ban was in place, and for the next 5+ years, Alex Jones would not be allowed to post anything to any of the major social media content sites that most of us use on a regular basis. Now, that's not to say that Alex Jones was out there in the wilderness without the ability to get his message out. Infowars.com is a very successful website, and whether you agree with Jones or whether you don't agree with Jones, he's been able for the past 5+ years to use that website and his ability to broadcast from it as a means by which to put out his message of information that he thinks is important to people. So, for 5+ years, that was the status quo until just recently. And that is when the tide started to turn. I take you now to some information that dropped actually in the past, really 72 hours. It was announced that Alex Jones would be doing an interview with Tucker Carlson on Tucker's Twitter page. 2-hour interview. Without interruption, without editing, Alex Jones would be allowed to say, without filter, what he really thinks about certain issues. Well, this caught the attention of a lot of people. One of them is a very famous social media content creator in his own right, The Quartering. And on The Quartering's Twitter account, he asks the following. Think about how much letting Alex Jones back on X would make the machine rage at Elon Musk. It's time. Elon responded with the following: "We'll consider. In general, since this platform applies to be the global town square, permanent bans should be extremely rare. Also, if he does say something false on this platform, then community notes will correct him, whereas that would not be the case elsewhere. Let's hold a poll." Well, as you might expect, given that Elon Musk is the one saying this, people absolutely chimed in with their opinion. This young lady by the name of Lindsay from Texas says Alex Jones was suspended by Twitter 1.0 for saying CNN Oliver Darcy had the eyes of a rat. Ironically, as Paul Thacker and I uncovered in the Twitter files, Oliver Darcy was essentially an informant for Twitter 1.0, secretly flagging tweets while employed as a CNN, quote, journalist. And she posts some information there. Elon responds with, "Well, that is certainly not a valid reason for the suspension." So, the wheels were in motion, and Elon, true to his word, posted a poll. Now, to go back to what we looked at very early on at the start of this video, the poll had almost 2 million votes, and by a 70 to 30 count, people said that Alex Jones should have his account reinstated. Ladies and gentlemen, as of midnight last night, Alex Jones is back on Twitter. So, that's the story. So where does your friendly neighborhood front porch conservative come down on this? Well, I'll give you my take. Look, I may not agree with Alex Jones on everything, in the same way I don't expect Alex Jones to agree with me on everything. However, he does have the right to say what he thinks. If we're truly going to say that free speech applies to everyone, then you've got to defend the right of Alex Jones. Even though you may not agree with him, you have to defend his right to be able to say what he wants to say anywhere in America on any platform. And if he is wrong, then the responsibility is incumbent upon those who feel that he is wrong to engage him in the arena of ideas and offer the proof as to why his statements or his arguments or his logic are flawed. That's the great compromise when it comes to free speech. You can say whatever you want, but it's with the understanding that you could be confronted about your wrongness and be proven wrong. But the problem for the political left is they preach the ideas of openness and tolerance. They preach that everybody ought to be allowed to say whatever they want, unless, of course, it's speech they don't agree with. And that, for them, is where free speech stops and it starts becoming approved speech. Now, that said, let me also say something else. There are brethren of mine on the political right who can be just as censorial as people on the left. I mean, if we're going to truly have free speech, let's have free speech. You may not like what Alex Jones has to say, but you have to allow it. On the other hand, you may find the things that are said on the political left, like you don't like Israelis, that may be distasteful, but you still have the right to say it. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. But it's called free speech, and you have the right to say what you want to say. It doesn't mean you're correct. It means you have the right to say it. I think this is probably one of the best things that ever could have happened in the arena of free speech. The fact that Alex Jones has been let back onto one of the major platforms in America is absolutely fantastic. It ought to be celebrated, and it doesn't matter to me whether you're on the political right or the political left. This is something everybody ought to agree upon. So, Alex Jones is back. Now let's see what he does with it. But that's what I think about it. What do you think? As we start to wrap up this video, please do me some favors as always. Number 1, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please do so. Number 2, please hit the bell for notifications. I want to make sure you're always aware when new material is coming out on the internet by my hand, be it a video or be it a live stream. Number 3, please leave a comment below. I would love to know what you think about all this. Number 4, share the video around. And finally, give me a thumbs up. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative, and I'll see you next time.